Hi, hello, my name's Sam Harrison. I read, review and discuss fantasy and science fiction books. Today we have a discussion because it is my weekly recap for January the 19th, 2024. What we're going to talk about today is the books that I have read this week, the books I'm going to be reading next week, and then the videos I've made this week, the videos I'm going to make next week, and then at the end we'll talk about any other non-book related media that I've been consuming. So today, let's get straight into what I read this week, which is 3 books. So I didn't read start to finish all 3 books this week, but I did read and finish Empire of Silence by Christopher Rocchio. There is a full non-spoiler review and a full spoiler discussion with Ross and Laura from Hardy's Books up on the channel right now. So if you want to know what I thought about this one before you read it, you can read the non-spoiler review. And if you want to read the one that is my full spoiler thoughts after you've read it, then both of those are on the channel for you right now. I don't know whether you guys enjoy the full spoiler discussions or not. I certainly love doing them, and they are getting the same-ish views that a lot of videos are getting. So I think that people are enjoying it and watching them. I would like, ideally, in a dream world, every single book I read would have a non-spoiler and full spoiler discussion. However, it's hard to get the right person to talk about the book after they've just read it in the same way that I have. It just really lined up with Ross and Laura. In future, as the channel grows, I'm sure we'll get a bigger community and it'll be easier to find people. But from now on, let me know what you think of the full spoiler discussions. If you like them, if you don't like them, pop something in the comments down below. And when you're on your way there, click like and subscribe. After reading Empire of Silence, I have started The Prophet of Idan. Now, I started this book at the beginning of the week, really, and I've only ended up reading 2 or 3 chapters a day. I actually haven't read that much of this one at all. If I would probably be in trouble for filming review videos if I had not managed to read an audiobook, which I'll talk about in a minute. Listen to an audiobook. And I hadn't filmed that full spoiler discussion. However, this book is really, really good so far. Really action heavy. There's lots of dragons, and everybody knows us fantasy nerds love our dragons. This is the sequel to The Way of Idan by Philip Chase. Lovely floppy American paperback. We've got to love these. Hopefully I will probably finish this book in a couple of days' time, and the review will be up next Wednesday. For the time being, all I want to say is lots of great action. We get straight into things in the first couple of chapters, which is really nice. I do love when a sequel book just drops you straight into some action. I have heard that this book is very, very action-packed all the way through, and that's currently quite true. So I'm looking forward to finishing and reviewing this one for you. I'd really recommend the Idan trilogy so far of these 2 books, and I've read 1 and a bit, maybe a third, maybe 1 and a third. Really enjoying them so far. I am looking forward to doing the review for this one. Once I've finished the series, I'm hoping to get Philip Chase to come on the channel to talk about writing them and booktube and all that sort of thing in the same way that I did with Andrew Watson. So if you'd be interested in that, pop something down in the comments to let me know, and I will make that a priority. After I read Empire of Silence, so as you guys know, I often tend to have an audio book and a physical book / ebook on the go. Now, when I'm reading a book that doesn't have an audio book, so usually I'd read the same audio book as the book. But if I'm reading a book that doesn't have an audio book, like, for example, Prophet of Idan, because that one is coming soon, I believe. I usually either try to read the opposing genre, and I often will just go to the next book. That's what I did with Red Rising when I was reading Harbinger of Justice. I knew I was going to read Red Rising next, so I just started it via audio. Now, with Prophet of Idan, and then my next book being Return of the Griffin, which is also a self-published book that does not have a audiobook, I didn't want to go 2 books down the line. So what I thought I would do is pick up a sci-fi novella, and I started reading The Lesser Devil by Christopher Rocchio, which is the first novella in the Sunita series. This novella follows Crispin Marlowe, who is Hadrian's younger brother, and it follows him around a kind of assassination attempt, I would guess, on him, and him kind of like having to kind of rough it a bit and get to know himself and his values a little more. It was really, really interesting to catch up with Crispin a little later in his life to see what's going on with him. I believe that Lesser Devil is probably concurrent with Empire of Silence, or very, very close to sections of it, seeing as the same time frame is referenced in terms of number of years between the last time that Crispin and Hadrian saw each other. So really, really interesting. Love the introduction of a lot of new characters. I liked the discussion of faith and religion, and then we also have kind of the Crispin interrogating the kind of relationships between like palatines and citizens and patricians. Overall, a really, really interesting book, and we get to see Captain Kyra again, which is really cool. So I would really recommend Lesser Devil. I think that overall, I actually enjoyed Lesser Devil more consistently throughout the thing. I felt like it was a 4-star experience the whole way through, which, as I've said with Empire of Silence, there were sections of it where I was like, is this a 3-star book? So interesting, I would say. Next up, we're talking about what I'm reading next. So I am continuing to read The Prophet of Idan. My next book I forgot to get out, and I don't want to refilm this section, so I will tell you that it's Return of the Griffin by JCM Byrne. I talked to Joe this week in the comments of another video, and he has said that he'd love to come on the channel as well. So I haven't arranged anything yet because I want to finish the Hybrid Helix books, but when I do, hopefully we'll be having an interview with Joe. I'm really looking forward to that. If I finish Return of the Griffin, I will be starting Tyranny of Faith by Richard Swan. As you guys may know, the first book in the Empire of the Wolf was my number 2 book of 2023, so I'm really excited to get to the Tyranny of Faith. Many people say it's better, many people say it's worse. So I'm excited to see what camp I fall into. The one other thing as well is that, so if I finish Prophet of Idan before I need more audiobook time, then I will go straight into Return of the Griffin and Tyranny of the Faith on audio. If I need more audiobook, I do have lined up the Becky Chambers Monk and Robot audiobooks. I think that one of them is called Psalm for the Wild Built. I think that's the first one. So I have that lined up based on a recommendation from somebody in the comments of my videos. Because I was looking for sci-fi novellas so that I could add more sci-fi to this year. And they recommended that. So thank you very much if you're watching for that recommendation. I will probably be listening to that while I am at the gym and driving and things like that while I'm reading Prophet of Idan. So I picked that one up on Audible. By the way, The Lesser Devil is free on Audible if you guys are looking to see what's going on in Sunita, though you do have to have read Empire of Silence because it does spoil it. I would really recommend it though. If you've skipped straight on to Howling Dark, I think it's well worth reading Lesser Devil before you do. Review for Lesser Devil will be out on Monday, so because it's a short sequel novella, I will probably do a spoiler review instead of trying to set up a spoiler discussion because it's just a novella. And we'll talk about that later. Sorry, cat's just scratching my sofa. Anyway, So, videos that went up this week. Really great crop of videos this week. So we had, obviously, the Empire of Silence non-spoiler review, which was on Monday. And that one has actually had almost 200 reviews. 200 views, which I'm really happy about. The next day, we had the book haul, which is the biggest, most popular video of the week. That one's got... So it's quite nice because it used to be that my Wandering In videos were my most popular videos every single week, so I didn't really go into popular videos too much. But this week and recently, it's been my other content that's been really popular. And obviously I want everything to get views, but it's really nice to see, especially reviews, get some of the most views on the channel. Last week's most reviewed video, was this video, the recap. And the thing I really like about the recap being the most viewed video, guys, is that the recap is the kind of video that you would only watch if you were a subscriber or you were interested in my channel. And there's no... I don't feel like you would watch these recaps if you weren't already interested in the channel. So it's really good to see so many people watching them. Anyway, then we had the full spoiler discussion with Hardy's books. As it's a long video, I wasn't expecting it to do particularly well, because I know that short videos are the thing on booktube. But actually, this has got over 50 views, and that's climbing. That number is climbing as well. So I'm really happy to have done that. I had so much fun recording that video. We actually chatted for like half an hour before recording the video. And we were having such a good time, just like chatting and shooting the shit and stuff. And it was just really nice to sit down with Ross and Laura. So we'll be chatting to Ross again in March for the Dragon Reborn. And I'm hoping to get Laura back on the channel as well, or even both at the same time. So really had a good time with that one. Thanks so much to the Hardy's Books team for coming on board. And yeah, it was a really good video. Next up, The Wandering In. As always, every Thursday we cover a few chapters of The Wandering In. 2 chapters this week, which we ended up being like 12,000 words, which is mad. And, you know, they do become like 35,000 word chapters in future, but we'll fix that when we come to it. 2 really good chapters this week, one with each of the protagonists, Eren and Ryoka. So if you are interested in Wandering In stuff, we've actually hit 10 episodes now, so there's quite a lot to go back and watch, and I would recommend you do so. I think that it's a really good series, and you can read along as I read, and I think it's a load of fun to do that once a week. So if you're interested in The Wandering In, the way that I'm reading it is a lot of fun. You can also read the ebooks or listen to the audiobooks, but I would say do it like I'm doing it, selfishly, so you can follow along with me. Next week, there's going to be a Lesser Devil review. I haven't come up with anything for my Tuesday video yet, so I'll film that on Monday. So it'll be a surprise. Wednesday video will be the Prophet of Adan review, unless in a very weird circumstance I haven't finished it. That would be very odd for me. Thursday, Wandering In. Friday, weekly recap. Not this weekend, next weekend, I think I'm filming my discussion with Matt about the Eye of the World. So if you have any questions about the Eye of the World that you want us to talk about in the video, pop them in the comments down below and I'll make sure that we run through them next week. I think that's everything, and I actually need to go to a meeting for work now because my lunch hour is over. So a nice whistle-stop tour of the Friday recap today. Everything I've read this week has been awesome, so I highly recommend it. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you didn't like it and you'd like to pass on some constructive criticism, you are fully welcome to do so. Please do that in the comments of the video. If you've read any of the books and you want to chat about them, again, put something down in the comments below. Try not to put any spoilers in there, because A, you don't know how far I am in Prophet of Adan, and B, we don't want to spoil those books for anyone who hasn't read them, as this is very kind of non-spoiler video. And if you would like to see more of my videos, please do subscribe, and I will see you on Monday for the Letter Devil review.